What are y'all gonna do in the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to start, Zach?
Yeah, sure. I want to start drafting the forum post. I'm going to work with Tom. We already started to have some questions. Maybe if we're lucky, we can just discuss those questions today and maybe tomorrow start drafting something. I also want to go to the swimming pool, do some sport, and yeah, basically stay in the village and yeah, enjoy the chillness of here. And yeah, that's probably the last week. Like people is going to, like people on the summer come to the village for vacation, and then it's going like this is like the last weekend probably. It's going to be like a lot of people. So yeah, try to enjoy the people, and I'll pass it to Manu.
Thanks, Septi. I didn't even know it was Friday. I'm gonna go pick up my girlfriend, which is flying from Colombia to here, Mexico. I'm gonna be with her. We're gonna go to Monterrey, which is one of the bigger cities in Mexico, and just chill. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll pass it to Griff.
Yeah, my plans are later this evening to kind of just go off into the woods. I don't really know where. I'm staying in this RV, so it's like easy camping, and just go off to the woods and do a little digital detox for like 30 hours, 36 hours. I'm pretty excited. And then, come back Sunday. Sunday's a work day. There's only really my weekend basically consists of Saturday most weeks, some weeks. So yeah, definitely going to take full advantage of it. But then Sunday it's params hack sesh and giveth meetings and all the good stuff. I'll pass it to Sean.
Nothing too crazy this weekend. I think a lot of cleaning, maybe go to the pool, maybe try to get a run in, but otherwise pretty laid back. I'll pass it to you, Evie.
Thanks, Sean. Have anything special planned this weekend? Because COVID cases are still rising here in my country. It seems like it will never end. So we're just gonna stay at home and maybe Netflix and chill. That's it. Yeah, I pass it back to you.
I'm sorry, Ivy. Yeah, here COVID is a little weird still too. In the weekend, I don't know. I'll probably hang out with some friends, and I was thinking I was gonna travel this weekend, but I realized how much work I need to do. So I'll go probably on Wednesday or something. So maybe I'll get some things done this weekend. And cool. I think that's everybody. So let me share my screen for.
I'd like to suggest a topic, maybe if it's time. Like, we already finished the code of conduct for admins, and yeah, I told you, Libby, yesterday. Like, maybe legal could review that document since, like, right now, SoftGov maybe it's like having a lot of load, and I think legal with Sean and Santi could make this document more professional and make it into the Gitbook. Awesome, thank you, John. I'll share this document on the legal chat in a moment. Maybe we can do it at the end of the call.
Yeah, if not, I can look at it on the weekend and we'll be ready for next meeting.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great, Zab. Maybe you could even make it to the Covenant too. So, okay, I looked into it again today, and I think everything looks good. Just integrating this last part here. So I'll just say that like our calls are available and that audits and the credential management can be checked. So I think this might be useful for people that are seeing a proposal that is being challenged too. And one question, Griff, you said that disputable voting changed the name. Which was it? So it's not
Yeah.
disputable conviction voting anymore?
No, so it's they both kind of changed their names. It's just going to be conviction voting, not disputable conviction voting. So it's just conviction voting. And disputable voting is now Tao voting, Tao voting, but like Taoism, with a T, TAO.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds better. I was looking in the forum because I thought now because of the dashboard there was explaining posts already about conviction voting and Tao voting, but there's not, right?
There are posts about it, but it's mostly from the parameter side and perspective, and they're like kind of going over that. And then there's of course the debate around Celeste. So there's content on the forum. I don't know how explicit it is. Like it depends on what your context is, but there's definitely lots of content on the forum.
I just wanted something that explains conviction voting and Tao voting.
There's the posts. I would say that there's the general posts for them that because there's each parameter set has a post and then each module has a post, and I think you could probably repurpose those.
I look conviction voting, but then it seems like there's only like old posts. Or is it this one? Marked conviction voting TLDR.
Oh, it does.
That's the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that really that old? No.
It's not that old, but it does use the older names for parameters, like beta, and it doesn't say like the parameters that we're using on the dashboard. Is the former names.
Yeah, we'll probably have to go through and edit all of these and make sure that we have the most updated names. Sadly, being on the bleeding edge, things change. Sucks.
Yeah. No, but this is good because this is a live link. So even if I put this here when it's updated, people will get the new version of it.
Thank you for bringing our awareness to that, Livia. Really appreciate
no problem. And then for this one, is it still called disputable conviction voting here? I mean, disputable voting?
Yeah, probably. The Dow voting thing came up we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks, but only got finalized like 4 or 5 days ago.
Cool. Yeah, those names were very confusing. I'm glad it changed. And then there was one question here so this I copied from the One Hive Covenant because they explain Celeste, but then it says a community member will be required to stake tokens when submitting a proposal, attesting that the impact of the proposal could be reasonably considered to align with TEC's social contract. So every time a proposal is submitted, someone has to stake tokens?
Yeah, but it's a proposal deposit.
So
It's more accurate to say deposit TEC tokens.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's kind of
it's staking and depositing. It's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, I just feel like stake may create an impression that they're going to earn a yield.
True.
But they will in case, this is the game, right? That if the proposal is challenged and if they were right about the alignment of that proposal, then they will make something out of it.
True, they're going to get something out of it if there's a dispute, but just the act of making a proposal doesn't result in a yield. So I would say deposit, just to
Yeah,
not create confusion.
I would agree, especially since we call it the proposal deposit. You know, they just might get confused that thinking it's something else.
Okay. Oh, in the params, it's called proposal deposit.
Yeah.
Okay. And this has to be done by the person who is proposing or by anyone?
By the person proposing.
So, proposer. The proposer? Does everybody has this document? Let me post somewhere. I'll post here in legal.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Levi if it. I was adding some documents on the transparency links, and I was not sure. Like, should I add the Discord roles? Like, some stuff is like it would be nice to the community review that. Like, for example, the onboarding like procedures to get the onboarding role, and some roles we kinda brainstorm about it, but there is like they should. I mean, we put what we know, but we don't know everything. So like it's community work. Yeah, I'm just asking if it would be worth to add here like the Discord roles, or maybe not. And if just asking.
The Discord roles, what do you mean by that? Is that, do we have a document that explains the Discord roles in specific?
Yeah, basically says what every role does, and then how to get this role. For example, like the stewards, we more or less know like one steward must nominate you, and then it was also not clear to me like we need like anonymous. I put majority on the document, but I was not sure. Like we need anonymous or majority. Like how many stewards should block a new steward or stuff like that. You know,
I think the
it's
roles section in the Git book is kind of updated.
oh okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe it's
Okay.
good to add this somewhere. Yeah, so it would be helpful. Can I go through like everything and then pass around, and then you guys can
Okay.
say if there's something missing?
Okay.
Okay, so this first part is, and thank you, Sean, for adding all the stuff you did. So this first part is just explaining what is the TEC, and then there's the mission, vision, and values added here. And how like this is a social contract that can be changed via community voting. And then the pledge, that is basically the code of conduct that is the same from Give It, from that first code of conduct we had. And then on-chain, like what are the on-chain tools we use and how are they used for what, like what are they primary use, and then how are they enforced? This is the Celeste part. And then the off-chain is like what are the tools that we use off-chain. So I added advice process as a primary practice just for like fast cultural proposals. And then when there is something that will likely affect the large community, then to use off-chain voting, and particularly recommending Snapshot and Token Log because they are token weighted tools. And then this part that I was still like confused about, like, should we edit here? When is a decision considered legitimate? So I put that a decision is considered legitimate when it respects the covenant, is promoted to the awareness of the community, and its results are unchallenged. I think this has a lot of room for like biases. I don't know, or for like it's not so clear, but maybe it was good to have at least something here, so we don't have the risk of someone just making a proposal on a token log and like, and then only a few people knew about it, or like to create some type of conflict based on the lack of awareness of proposals that are created. I don't think that would happen, but just in case. And then it's possible that other tools are integrated and they still should be aligned to the covenant. And that those are our like official community spaces, but then all the other platforms also may be integrated. And then the enforcement of the off-chain decision making is through Gravity. And then we also put on top here that Gravity ensures kind of like our code of conduct. So if something happens to the code of conduct, we can apply the graduated sanctions and then linking them there. And then the last part was just to add the transparency links. Do you guys think that, and then that to change the covenant, a proposal should be sent to DAO voting for approval? Does anybody has comments? Maybe Sean, you could start. Or
Thanks.
Ivy, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good point, that they can be challenged until a certain time, and then after that, just another proposal can be submitted to change the status of that last one. How much would be a good time?
I mean, if this is off-chain stuff, shouldn't that stuff move a little bit quicker? So, I'd say something probably under 2 weeks, unless we'll have different views here. But I'd assume the off-chain stuff is meant to move a little bit quicker with less restraint than stuff that's happening on-chain, and it is really, much more binding.
Cool. Do you want to take it, Sean, for your comments?
Sure. So I think Libby did a great job with this. My first comment is I'm pretty sure in the document, the proposal terms, which I think is in Gitbook now, there is a section on pledge, which should be updated with this covenant once we're finalized with it. So it's just a reminder for everyone that when we finish this document, it's got to end up probably on its own somewhere, but it's also within the proposal terms in Gitbook. So it's just something to remind us.
Yeah, you mean update the Gitbook?
Yeah, because I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure in the proposal terms, Livy, when we were talking about starting this document, I was like, oh, there's something I started drafting in the proposal terms that is a version of the covenant. And obviously it's got to mimic what we end up agreeing to, obviously, here with this covenant. So it's just, I can find the document later. I want to remind us, we'll have to go back and make sure that gets updated so we don't have two versions of the covenant out there.
Yeah, that's great.
So Libby, I thought you did a great job with this. My biggest thought about this is people who are familiar with TEC or have been stewards or in the community are probably going to look at a lot of these terms and completely understand what everyone's talking about. And I'm reading it from the perspective of someone new to the community and seeing some of these things for the first time. So I think we use a lot of links here, which is good, because if we explained everything out every time, the document would be 30 pages long and no one would ever read it. But things like quadratic, conviction voting, Tau voting, Celeste, even things like Discord, these are all things that are potentially relatively foreign to people that may be new to the community. So me and Livia kind of put all these points in here to like add a link, so that people are able, if they go, well, what does that mean? Or what's the TEC form? I've never even seen that there's somewhere for them to go and link to them and understand. Or we talk about Ostrom's principles or Schelling points or things like that. So, if anyone ever has any comments on it and is reading it, looking at it from the perspective of someone that is not familiar with the community or not familiar with augmented bonding curves and conviction voting and why those things matter, or why we're using one form of voting for a certain type of problem. But if there's a major bug in the smart contract, we're not going to be using disputable voting. We're going to just be using conviction voting. I think that has to be understood by someone new, and done in a way that doesn't make the document unruly. So I really like the links. I think that's good. I'm probably going to go through this another time, and again, just kind of reading it as if, I've never seen any of this stuff before. And every time I go, well, what is that? Adding a link, or maybe even just a couple of words just to make it clear. At this point, I think it reads really well. The only thing I'm kind of left with going, oh, do we understand why we're doing this, is the difference between using conviction voting and disputable voting. And I think we give good examples, bug fixes and exploits or whatever. But we may want to add just one sentence on why those kinds of problems require us to use a different form of voting. Just because I think it to someone new, it may be a little bit confusing. That's probably my last comment on the document. I thought Libby did a great job, and we've been back and forth on the document for like the last week or two, and I think it reads really well. But that's probably my last one, where I'm just like, well, do people understand why certain decisions are going to be disputable and certain proposals are not going to be disputable? Otherwise, I think that's it for my comments.
Do you want to pass it to someone? Thanks, John.
Yeah. Let's see, Manu.
No, I'm just listening in. I'm good. It makes sense.
I can take it. I think it's pretty good as is. I know that Lauren is writing a covenant for Giveth too, and probably exchanging notes might be good. Maybe it's already happened. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's pretty good so far. And I'll pass it to Ivy.
Yeah, I provided my comment with only the off-chain decision making. I pass it to you, Deputy.
Yeah, thanks, Ivy. Yeah, I think it's pretty good, but I just only have that question. Like, if it would be worse to add like the Discord roles, what Discord roles permissions have? Yeah, just maybe I tell again, maybe it's not worth it. Like, but just to know, like, like some roles can check messages and audit them, like see what was in there before, or some roles can't, and yeah, like maybe like, and it's not in the scale. Like some roles like gravitons, for example, can mute or expulsar in English, remove people from the server when they behave bad, and for example, then other roles that like subject matter experts cannot do that, but they have other things that they can do. I don't know. Just mention it. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it doesn't hurt to add the roles. So there's a list there of the final things that should be added, and we can just like put them there as a like in case, like these are also things that we have from the community in case more information is needed. We can link like the TEbook stuff too, and also those agreements are being updated with Anna Marie, so that is something relevant for the covenant. And hopefully, I mean, we can link the page of what we have now, and then as we update that, it will be updated in the covenant too.
Awesome.
And yeah, Griff, Lauren sent me the Give It covenant. I read it today. It's pretty good, and I think we got like inspirations from the One Hive too. So I appreciate it. And I think that's it then for the covenant. So also for your comment, Sean, we could like work on the glossary and add like links of the glossary. Maybe it would be really cool if people could just like pass over the word and then the meaning comes up.
Yeah, I noticed that on the dashboard yesterday that I think Manu sent me. I thought that was just really, really helpful to just be able to get the cursor over a phrase and have the definition pop up. But links work fine too, but I do like that idea of just pulling over the word and seeing a quick description, or if it's the description's too long, then a link, whatever. But I like that idea.
Cool. So that was it for me. Do you want to, Zeptimus, you said you wanted to share something?
Yeah, I think, I mean, we still have half an hour. I'll share my screen. Let me first open the document. Oh, it's right there. Wait, it's not this one. This one. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I can just explain what we did on this document. So yeah, we had like all the platforms we have, like YouTube, Twitter, Medium, HubSpot, like yeah, all of them. Well, Snapshot is missing now. And yeah, basically what we did, it's like we think together and yeah, start to think all the things like people can do as an admin on each platform, and then we set like what should be allowed and what's forbidden, and then we drafted like some little rules like for each platform, like are kind of similar. And yeah, basically like the idea would be also I was talking yesterday with one and he agreed on like also have some graduated sanctions on, when I don't know, so maybe someone is, I don't know, sharing videos with no TEC context on the TEC video, that might not be, that rule might not be good, but like maybe we're sharing some common stack, and I'm just seeing it now that I'm telling. So maybe this, that's why it's super cool, and it's nice, like the community review all these things, because I'm just reading it now and it doesn't make sense. Like maybe TEC wants to share something related with common stack and it's not like a TE thing. So maybe I will just put an asterisk here and revise it later. Basically, and we're doing it for each platform. And I was thinking, I don't know, Sean, if we could maybe, I don't know how you wanted to approach it, like to make it more formal document, because I feel like this in a list, like, I don't know, for example, like the forum is like super big, and it looks like annoying to read, like all the things you can do on the forum. It's a lot. And maybe if we can write it down somehow, or I mean, I don't know how to make it more professional. And and it would be good if Juan also was here, because like the idea is to have like some rather exception. Like I was mentioning yesterday, like right now, I mean, before the Hajj, like if someone was doing something wrong to the community, we have no sanctions. Like, like, I don't know, it's like you can do nothing to no one, because like there is like we have no rules. So if someone is, I don't know, posting a false Hajj in Twitter, to scam people, we remove impact hours to that users? It's like a lot of things. There is no clarity, and like the idea is to work on this. And I don't know if someone have any question.
I mean, I think the document itself is a great idea. I'm happy to take a look at it between now and the next meeting. And Zeb, if you want to just give me access to be able to make suggestions in the document.
Then
sure. I'll take a look at it and try to make it read in a way that, shorten it up where need be, and expand things if that's the case. But I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's something that I think the community should be aware of, because in theory, at least, I would assume that there would be, I'm not saying frequent turnover, but there should be turnover in sort of leadership roles. And so as new people kind of come in and take leadership positions, there should be sort of a code of conduct. So I think it's a great idea. So happy to take a look at it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Basically it's just to have more clarity on this. Like, it's good. I think I'll share it with, I already sent it. Thank you. I don't know, someone else have some comments to make this document better?
I think this is really great. I'll take a deeper look into it, but it's awesome, and it's in the same structure as the other agreement, so it feels really good to have this consistency. And it's a good time to, like, maybe we can share this with Anna-Marie so she has an idea of what we're talking about for the other ones too.
Nice. Awesome. Should I share it with her, or you will do it?
Yeah, you should do it.
Okay.
Cool. So if there's nothing else to be shared here, we can close this call earlier.
Can I just get something? I don't think we need to go over it now because I don't think it's necessary now, but I think it's something we should probably get on the radar for at some point down the road once the the DAO's kind of moving and going. It's just kind of a topic that I think is bubbling up with a lot of DAOs, especially DAOs with sizable treasuries, is treasury management. And if people have any thoughts on whether or not the DAO should be considering or can consider even, diversifying the treasury so as to protect its value, what those options may be, and what are some of the potential consequences of diversifying a treasury. But it's just something I think people need to start thinking about, because I think it's starting to creep up in a lot of places. At least I'm hearing it. And so, like I said, I don't think it's necessary to talk about it now, but it's something I think we need to get on our radar, in the next probably 30 to 60 days.
There are just as an overview of that, there are some complications. Currently, conviction voting can only hold one currency. So, and in some ways, the nice thing is that our baseline currency is wrapped XDAI, so it's a stable coin. So, but this will be a choice that I think it is an important thing to discuss, because all of the sub DAOs will need to make these financial decisions of whether or not they want to hold wrapped XDAI, the token itself, or some mix, or Ether.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's good if conviction voting limits TEC to just holding wrapped XDAI, then that solves the problem, right? There's nothing to be done within the system the way it's currently kind of put together. But yeah, if the sub DAOs have the ability to hold it in something else, then it becomes an issue for them at some point. And again, what those decisions are, or what the right decision is probably open to interpretation. But those considerations need to at least be confronted, because it's you hold a coin 100% in a treasury, and that coin is falling in value. That's not great. And so it's just something that people need to consider if they diversify and hold some in stable coins, or hold some, even if it's maybe even farming, or lent out to some third party that generates revenue. That raises its own issues for a DAO, but it's something that I think, to the extent they're holding something that's other than wrapped XDAI or some stable coin, that they need to consider. Anyway, just want to get on the radar.
This will be a huge topic for the reward DAO, the DAO that handles rewards, because I imagine those rewards will be in TEC tokens, and when they purchase those, they have to get wrapped XDAI from the DAO, and then they have to decide when to purchase those. And actually, one of the proposals that we're going to do in this in between period is whether or not there should be a initial purchase of the TEC tokens. Like the first buy into the bonding curve could be by our reward DAO, like the Source Cred DAO and Praise DAO, and using some conviction voting funds to actually just buy those tokens straight up out the gate, because the first buy into the bonding curve is guaranteed to be a pretty good price, because everybody's tokens will be locked, so the price literally can't go below whatever price we set it. So might as well collectively enjoy that benefit. So this, I think it's a pertinent discussion that will be had in the next couple of weeks in that scenario.
That's it for me.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for leading, Livia.
Hey, Griff, if you have a minute, can you look at that proposal with me?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.